here's my finished motorbike. I just said I'd make this quick clip to show you the step-by-step processes to manufacture. To begin with, I suppose I started by designing the frame, and I just chose the chopper style frame to go with for no particular reason. I just thought, I suppose it looked good. Now at this stage I didn't even have my theme selected, and I didn't exactly go off any chopper frame. I just made this custom frame. It was my own design. I made it, the frame, the main part of the frame is made out of that 16mm stock round tube, and you'll see that I used bins rather than cuts and wells because I think it fits in with the chopper style theme better. You'll see the wheels aren't the stock wheels either. I got these from Minimoto, and to keep my bike kind of in proportion, I had to go over the 500 millimeters between centres, but I did stay within the 3 meter limit of the round tube. Now to mount the back axle, you'll see here that there are these little brackets that I made up on the milling machine. I just drilled a 10mm hole to fit the axle, and to fit, I don't know how well you can see that there, but to fit it into the tubes, I just cut a slot up along the tubes here, and that was the same width as the bracket, and I put a good deep penetrating weld here. And I didn't cut any slot in the bottom one because I wanted to give the top part of the frame, remember this is now the top part of the frame, I wanted to give that extra height. So this here is coming up at 15 degrees, and I wanted the top part here coming up at 30 degrees, so I had to work that out, and I even made a jig to weld that in position. You'll also notice here that the seat is almost riding level, as is the bottom of the frame, but it all comes to a point up here. That's because there's a bend right in under the tank here, so when I was making the tank I had to take that into account as well. Now with the front assembly, that's pretty much standard. The suspension, the springs, the bushings, they were all the standard bushings. The drawings we got, I made them. Although I did make the bottom bushings a little bit longer, they're going farther up into the 25mm tube here because I didn't want them falling apart, which can happen. Now I did make one modification here. You'll see the handlebars are coming out the top of the bushings. I wanted that to fit in with the style of the bike as well. Now that took a little bit of figuring out, because how was I going to do that? Was I going to solder them in? I couldn't really do that. I didn't want to glue them in. So what I did was I drilled a hole through the 25mm tube. You'll just see the outline of it here. I made a reducer on the lathe to fit around the 16mm bar and to fit inside the 25mm pipe. I welded it to the bottom of the 16mm bar, pushed it down till I could see it through the hole. I plug welded it through the hole. Now the yokes and this gizmo here, they both came off a Minimoto as well, but I did have to modify them to make them fit the bike. Now, so moving on to kind of I suppose the finishing touches already. The tank, I made that out of the modelling foam. I had a prototype made, you'll see it there in the blog. The tank, I decided to make it narrower there in the front because I wanted to get a better lock when steering. In the prototype you'll see that it didn't have this, and while it had a good lock, I just wasn't happy with the shape of the bike. It was more going off an army style tank, so I just made this kind of to my own design as well. The prototype I made out of Kingspan insulation. The seat here, I made that out of a little bit of 5mm plywood. I layered on foam on top of this, and I covered it with a layer of leather, and I pulled it round tight and used a staple gun to fix it in place. I covered the bottom then with leather, so that fits on there nice and level. The little bags there, you'll see them. There's a bag on both sides, and there's a little kind of a sleeping bag or a tool bag, whatever you want to call it here. That was made They were made out of, believe it or not, an old fold-out beach chair that had broken. And you'll see I just drew out the development, cut it out and stapled it together. But it seems to, it looks okay even though it was stapled. It looks kind of aesthetically appealing enough. The mud guards, they took a lot of time now. The manufacture of the mud guards wasn't too bad. What I did was I cut out a strip of vacuum forming plastic and I used a heat gun and I simply used the tyre itself as a mould and I just shaped it around the tyre. I drilled 4 holes in each mud guard, you'll see them, and I used a bit of, I can't remember, was it electric fence wire or a bit of a clothes hanger wire. Put it along the front, through the hole, and I have a little hook at the end, you'll see it there. And to make the mounts, to mount the mud guards then, to keep them just a fraction above the wheel, I had to use these. Now I was going to use wire, some sort of a bull wire that wasn't going to bend, but it wasn't exactly working out. So what I used, believe it or not, was PVC tube. And what I did was I heated both ends of the tube and I crimped them using the circlip pliers. So, and I just put a little hole in this end here. So that fits right on there, and it's the perfect length, and it's held on with epoxy resin, held onto the axle bushing here. And when it's sprayed up, it really does look like steel. Now there's a nice little bike light here that I put on, just fits in there on the back mud guard. And that flashes. Yeah, the risers and the foot pegs. A lot of people were making them straight out, but I thought for this style of bike I should make risers, and it really does fit in. It makes the bike look in proportion as well. So I made these. They were my own design as well. I made them out of white nylon on the lathe, and I decided not to spray them because the white in these I feel makes the stickers kind of stand out. So this would have been the Alloy symbol in the Second World War. The stickers, there's a first aid sticker on the bags on each side and a star sticker as well on the tank on each side. I tried to get a man in a local manufacturing spot to make me the stickers, but he said he wouldn't. But what he would give me was an offcut and I could make my own. So what I did was I just threw them up in SolidWorks and put the sheet of vinyl into the laser cutter. That did a spot on job there. The camo net, I got that in an ex-army store. I thought the little wire rope here, I just folded that into a loop and made a little bracket to hang it on. The number plate there, I don't know, can you see it? My student number. I did that on the laser cutter and that's held on with epoxy as well. And that's pretty much it. That's my bike. Thanks for watching.